Hi everybody, this is Anne. What makes a painting pleasing to the eye? People have written long books about this subject in art. I thought it'd be fun to explore just one of the crucial art concepts on our pottery, perspective. Perspective is a principle of art that gives the scene depth. In this video, I designed an easy underglaze bird scene where I'll demonstrate how to think in reverse to create the perspective of a background layer of leaves overlapped with a foreground layer of birds and trees. I'm beginning with my blank canvas, this vase. I threw it on the wheel and let it dry to leather hard. On a piece of thin packing paper, I hand drew silhouettes of birds in different sizes and shapes. If you aren't comfortable drawing these, I'll provide free templates in the link in the description section. I cut each one out. I made a lot as I didn't know how many would fit around the vase. I also cut strips of the paper with tapered ends, which will serve as branches. I then cut small elongated diamond shapes, which will be tiny leaves, and I cut a batch of large leaves for the background. I laid them all out so they'd be ready to go as I needed them. Thinking in reverse, although the birds will be the outer layer, they're the first templates to be applied so that the white of the vase will be their contrasting color. I dip the templates in water, then place them around the vase. The water will make it stick to the clay. As I placed the birds around the vase, I tried to be aware to create a balanced design as I turned the vase around. When I had the birds arranged like I liked, I took a pencil and lightly traced branches around and under each of the birds to give them a perch. Notice that some of the branches bend conveniently under the bird's feet. Some of the branches even go behind the birds, which is also a way to show depth. I wanted the branches to flow up and around the vase and in different directions as well. I dipped the thin strips of paper in water and covered them over each of the drawn lines, being sure to bend them when necessary. Make sure the paper is tight to the surface. Keep an eye on the moisture level. The clay will pull the moisture from the template pieces, which dries them out. Notice how I simply tear the paper when needed to cover each branch. In order for the templates not to detach, I brushed water over them as they started to dry and potentially peel away. Now for the small leaves, I again dipped them in water and applied them to the branches. The good thing about using paper templates is that if you place something crooked, you can always just peel it away and re-wet it and stick it back down. Again, I'm applying a bit of the water to the templates so they don't dry too fast. I'm starting with one of my favorite underglazes, Amico Baby Blue. I'm brushing it on gently with a soft, flat brush. This underglaze acts like a gouache paint, which has sort of a whitening quality to it that affects not only itself but any other underglazes that you want to layer over top of it, creating a harmony of colors in the end. I gave the vase 3 coats, making sure they were at least almost dry in between. Finally, I made sure that the underglaze was completely dry before moving on. Now I'm going to apply the bigger leaves. Again, thinking in reverse, these leaves will be in the background of the scene even though they're applied over top of all the other templates. One tip for applying is to try and overlap the branches and small leaves, but try to avoid overlapping the bird templates. You want the birds to stand out and be the focal points. Now I'm going to mix the baby blue with a little electric blue and intense yellow color to change the dull, cool blue into one with a little brighter intensity. Using the baby blue as the base will unify the layers of the overall scene. Now, I didn't measure how much yellow or electric blue that I put in. The baby blue has such a whitening power that you can see how it dulls down anything that you mix with it. I just continued adding until I had a bit darker color that I liked. Again, I used a soft flat brush to gently apply 3 solid layers of the green over the vase. When it was almost dry, I used an X-Acto to peel away the paper. You'll be able to see the shadows of the paper under the dry underglaze. For the most part, I didn't get much bleeding as the paper really sticks tight to the clay, but where there was a bit of underglaze, I used my X-Acto knife to lightly scrape it away. Try not to gouge it. Here it is. Even though we put the birds down first, they appear to push forward in space while the leaves push backwards behind the birds. Now here's one I experimented with earlier, where I mixed slightly different shades of the baby blue and painted the first coat light blue at the top and darker blue at the bottom. Then I applied the leaves and green on top of that. I applied 3 coats of clear glaze over the underglazes and high-fired to cone 5 with a 6-minute hold for this look. The white silhouetted birds are highlighted like I wanted in front of the colored background, and the colors I used were similar enough to harmonize, but with just enough contrast. This simple design is a great gateway to painting full-color illustrations. From here, you could add small details to the birds or do a little sgraffito carving into the background, etc. Use your imagination. We really appreciate all of you who have contributed through Super Thanks and Buy Me a Coffee. It really helps us invest in supplies and tools to bring you our best ideas in a quality way. You guys are the best. See you next time in the studio.